Two 2x4s transformed into 170 products, turning enough profit for you to buy every major tool for your shop. And the project is one of the cheapest that I sell. Let's say you have no shop, no tools, no experience. So let's get you up to speed. Pencils, safety glasses, a dust mask, a table, a speed square that I use in today's video, two 2x4s, a few dowel rods, and some wood glue. And now you need a few tools. Facebook Marketplace is a great resource to find used equipment, but let's buy it all brand new. Splurge for that bigger 10-inch drill press. We'll also need a 3/8-inch drill bit for today's project. If you're planning on making more than just today's craft project, a bandsaw is a great tool to have. However, rip cuts come out cleaner on a table saw, and cross cuts come out a little nicer on a miter saw. Sanding is also quicker and easier with a benchtop sander versus doing it all by hand. Total starter pack comes out to $818.31, but clearly we're in a moving vehicle, and since I was in the big city.
Order when you're ready.
Can I just get a large half-cut tea with no ice?
209 first window, thank you.
And that brings our entry fee to $826.20, but don't worry, we're gonna turn a profit. Measure halfway down your 2x4 and cut it in half. 48 inches, you'll end up with 4 pieces. With your fence set to 3 1/4 of an inch, remove that rounded section from one side of your board. A little painter's tape on the open side of your saw blade really cuts down the amount of sawdust it's kicking back at you. Bump your saw down to 5/8 of an inch, place the side that we have made nice and flat against the fence, and cut your 2x4 into thinner slivers. If you fancy that push stick keeping my hand toes far away from that sharp spinny blade, I have free downloadable plans for all the popular push sticks used by the kings of YouTube. You might be asking yourself, hey Marcus, didn't you just make 1x2s? Why didn't you just buy those in the first place? And I'd say, well, my name's not Marcus, and this here in front of me cost me $5.96, versus if I'd bought 1x2s that are a lot more expensive, I'd be looking at over $10. This is a simple project that you can build from 2x4 scrap material. You don't have to cut up the entire thing. Back at the miter saw, cut all of your strips into 4-inch blocks. No, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? We're not building a Jenga set. We don't make any money off those. We can't compete with Hasbro. We're not building Jenga today. Put all this back. Erase those. So you'll end up with 170 or so pieces, and you'll have a few that are rejects. The rejects all involve some sort of a knot or rough side. Just get rid of them. We don't need them. We have 170 to work with. Find one that really doesn't have any knots in it whatsoever. I'm going to take another one and lay it right across the top so it's lined up with the edge and draw a line. Then I'm going to rotate it. Sorry if my hands are in the way. And you'll get something that looks like this. Remember that really tiny Lee Valley speed square I told you to buy? This is where it comes in handy. I'm going to lay it across the top, line it up with our line, and just draw our 45-degree angle. Do it one more time, put on that side. Then we need to make 2 X's on the top, putting our speed square in the corners and drawing a line. You're going to drop this tiny little speed square a whole bunch, because I always do. Look like that. Welcome to your new drill press. Features a light and a laser. That's a lot of switches. I was really excited to make one of these and put it so you could have downloadable plans. It's got some problems. Problem with this one is I had made it and then the handle got in the way, so I had to cut a recess. And then this, it now just falls out because it has to be so far forward. And this is just so I can easily replace this as I use it instead of just drilling a bunch of holes and replacing the entire board. And when this is scooted back, this handle then hit this spot, so I had to edit that. And I like that this back was 4 inches tall, so that way I can make sure I have a nice 90-degree upright piece when I'm drilling out something. Except now my chuck could hit this if this was up a little bit higher. Again, this thing just falls out. We gotta revise it. It also doesn't move. It has screws that you have to actually like loosen and then move it and tighten them. I wanted like thumb screws or something in there. So we'll take this back to the drawing board probably in a few weeks. I'll throw some pictures of it in the plans if you're wanting to build one for this project. You can see I positioned that 3/8 of an inch drill bit to perfectly line into our crosshairs. And if I flip that board around, beautiful. I put a stop block right here, again, just another 90-degree upright. clamped it down to our piece. So now I can just bring each one of these pieces over, drill it down 2 inches, flip it around, drill it down 2 inches, until I've done all 170 of them. We need to make one of these holes a little bit deeper than the other one for acoustics. So right now our depth is this deep. We're just gonna go about 1 inch deeper. Drilling a 3-inch hole while holding onto the piece could be seen as unsafe. Throw 10 or so of them into a clamp and just get after it. Now's where we're going to learn the importance of those lines. I took just a simple scrap piece of 2x4, cut it at a 45-degree angle on the table saw. It doesn't need to be very big, just big enough to hold our piece at that 45-degree angle. And at our bandsaw, I'm going to make 2 cuts. The first cut goes perfectly perpendicular to our project. The second cut can be a little tricky because you are cutting a compound angle. Take your time starting the cut and be mindful because you are cutting towards your hand toes, and they're pretty close. And you'll end up with something identical to what I just cut. We just need to repeat it for that other side. Now, instead of measuring and marking every single one of these like we did this first one, we can just use this as a template. Set them on top just like this, and just mark it with a pencil. I like mechanical. And you're going to flip it around, do this other side. You don't need to mark up the sides because they're not important when you're cutting it on the bandsaw. To really ramp up production, take a thin piece of Luan, transfer in those cut lines, again, holes at the top, and make your marks easy breezy. And just keep doing that. Here I'm cutting a 3/8 inch dowel rod that matches the holes we had just drilled down to about 3/4 of an inch. You're gonna need a ton of these little things. And you need to create a flat spot by sanding a 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch off of that dowel. You can do it when it's one big long piece, or you can do it when it's a bunch of tiny pieces. And now for the fun part, take those dowels, you're gonna put them into those holes that you worked so hard to drill out. You're gonna push them down a little ways, just like that. You're gonna be at a slight angle, kind of matching those cutouts we had made in the top. And what you've made is train whistle. Use a dot of super glue or wood glue on the bottom of your hole, so that way that dowel rod can't fall out or be a choking hazard. I zip it one last time through the bandsaw to remove that extra dowel. And at the belt sander, they get a quick and dirty sanding. What's a quick and dirty sanding? You just quick sand each side with 80 grit, then you lightly touch all of the edges, not the corners, and you're done. And after sanding, I come over to the air compressor, I just blow them off real quick. Then I like to give each one of these little guys a tap. I just want to make sure they're not knocked loose, they're not freely floating around in there, because if a child uses this wrong, they're not blowing air, they're pulling air, which means they're going to suck in a dowel rod. That's a lot less fun if you don't have an LLC. I also bought this little train stamper for the top. That's cool. Not in the price, but it's pretty cool. $826.20 was our initial cost. However, I need to purchase 2 more dowels to finish this volume. I had run out, so $3.18 added. I'm not driving all the way to the lumber store again. You saw the drive. That was to the lumber store at the beginning. Electricity, $4. Blade usage of 20 cents. I don't stain these. I don't finish them. I leave them just like this. People are putting their mouths on them and stuff. I just don't want to deal with that and waiting for it to cure and find the right products. No, thank you. $833.58 is our total if you have to buy all of your shop tools. If you already have some tools sitting around, $13.81. No tool purchase, just the 5 dowels and the 2 2x4s. $13.91. This project's taken about 6.5 hours as of right now, just focusing on the project and duplicating. That's not me filming and doing stuff. So I project probably 7.5 hours once I get those 2 dowels. I have already sanded all of my pieces except for the tops on the ones that aren't done yet. So all I gotta do is throw those dowels in, sand the top, those are done. These have been selling very well at $6 a piece. That is mainly at craft shows, but if you're doing craft shows or online, both of those have additional time and additional costs, and they all vary depending on where you live and what platform you're using, blah, blah, blah. I'm not including that. You get 170 projects, $6 a pop, takes you to $1,020 profit. Yeah, it's got a comma, minus our $833.58 if you want to fill your shop with tools. And you still got $186.42 in your pocket, man. And if you drop down to $5 each, you still get like 20 bucks. It's $850. something profit. So you still got money. I think the big takeaway, maybe don't make 170 of them. Try like 20, and then this is 20, my hands on. Sell 20 of them, and then if those all sell, make a few more and kind of build up the rapport. Don't be sitting on 170 of them. I'll sell them within the next like 2 months, but I really just wanted to show you guys what it looked like to literally can't sell these fast enough and all the clickbaits that you see on YouTube. And above all else, you have to believe in your product and you have to believe in the price you're selling it for, because if you jump in the comments saying no one's going to buy that for $6, if you don't believe in your product, nobody will believe in it because you're the one that has to sell it to them. I'd made this guy as a funny and I forgot to put it in the video, but it works.